Making a sequel to one of the biggest action movies of all time. How can we make it more sound actiony? I got it. How about John McClane dies harder?
You're a goddamn genius!
Hey man, from Media World, and welcome to a Die Hard 2 Die Harder review. This review is going to be talking about the storyline, the characters, the genre, and other things I want to mention when I'm talking about this movie. So let's talk about Die Hard 2. So the story for Die Hard 2 follows John McClane back once again, set a year after the events of the first Die Hard movie. It is Christmas time again, and John McClane is picking up his wife from the airport, and of course things go wrong when terrorists hijack the plane and a series of events start to play out, and John McClane is, once again, has to stop the terrorists and save his wife. Now the storyline for me, I felt, was very typical kind of summer blockbuster, very basic kind of plot point. It was basically revamping what the first one was. The first one was a stamp on action movies. It was something different, something original, something groundbreaking, and basically the studio went, how do we do a sequel, how do we do it good? We just take the bits from the first movie and just change little bits of it. It's basically like we're doing a new Call of Duty game. What do we make it different? Oh, add more guns.
Of course.
Instead of a Nakatomi building, we've got an airport. Instead of bank robberies, in a sense, we've got actual military terrorists and stuff, and little mini twists from in the movie. The storyline, I think, is just about average, really, and the film, in my opinion, is average. Die Hard 2 is probably the weakest of all the Die Hard movies, in my personal opinion.
Wrong!
Now, don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand. I don't think it's a bad movie or anything along those lines. I think it's a very entertaining movie for what it is, but it is basically just a summer blockbuster. It's just a very easy, enjoyable movie, which, it does have a lot of good qualities to it, but it's just basically the same thing twice, and that's not good sequels. That's really, really bad and lazy script writing right there. Now, there is parts I do like about it. I do like John McClane's character in this movie. I think he's absolutely hilarious. How can the same thing happen to the same guy twice? I think that's really funny.
The wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time. Story of my life.
Bruce Willis, of course, is brilliant. What makes the movie so funny and so good is because of Bruce Willis and his character and what he goes through and what he does in the movie. So well done, and I like how he interacts with the characters. The characters in the movie actually are pretty good. You got the cops, you got Gennaro, who is wife's in the movie again. You got the same guy, like character Dick, the news anchor from the first one. But it's like taking all the characters from the first one yet again and just put them in a different environment. It's like it's doing the same thing twice. I get a little annoyed about that. Sometimes it can work. It can work now and again in some movies. But with a franchise like this, you can't do the same thing twice. One thing I do like about this movie, it is quite violent for what it is. That's what one of the main appeals. The proper blood scripts, proper bad language, proper kind of environments. Going in the snow and stuff, and proper military fights, and fighting on some type of fucking airplane wing is just absolutely awesome right there. So the choreography and fight scenes are really, really awesome, and it's really well done. And it, in some sense, it's believable in a way because you can see John McClane fighting, but in other ways you can't because, there's bits like obviously he's fighting against obviously military guys, and these military guys have gotten really hard on full training, and he's just an LA cop or a New York cop. You can kind of forgive some parts of it. I know he plays a little dirty in some parts, which is fine. That's part of his character. The fact he just takes an ice pick and rams into someone's eye. There's some good kind of appealing chills to that. So basically, Die Hard 2, Die Harder is basically Taken 2. Same premise, same storyline, but Die Hard 2 has more to it in the sense of action, in the sense of more time, storylines and lines and stuff. But the same you can say about Liam Neeson's character. He's taken twice. This time it's not a daughter, it's his wife, kind of thing. So these type of sequels rarely work, and a lot of people are pissed off about Taken 2.
Do you understand?
Yes.
The The director of the movie is Randy Harden, actually a pretty decent director, not too bad. He's done a couple of hit and miss projects here and there. Cliffhanger and Deep Blue Sea I felt was one of his top best movies. Even though Deep Blue Sea was a bit of a B movie, it still was pretty fun, entertainment in terms of value, in terms of action, in terms of lines and characters and stuff. And Cliffhanger was, I thought, was an excellent movie in terms of, terrorists and stuff like that. And he was doing really, really well. And I can see some of his mannerisms into this movie, of course, and how he did it and all that type of stuff. So it's not too bad in terms of director-wise. But he did do, of course, The Exorcism at the beginning and Dreamcatchers 4, which was a nightmare in itself.
I knew you'd say that.
Some pretty decent action scenes. The choreography was not too bad, but for me, it's just a typical kind of summer blockbuster sequel. It's just a very average movie, but it's still very enjoyable to watch. I still watch it part of the movie trilogies, but it doesn't do anything original and different, which is the shame about doing a sequel to one of the biggest movies ever. You're never going to really top that in a sense. You can only just about just pull off a sequel like Taken 2 and like other movies. But that's the problem. I mean, Die Hard 2 didn't do like another Lethal Weapon thing. Lethal Weapon 2, basically continued on the story, continued on the humour, continued on what made the first one so great, and basically just expanded on it and just did more with it, kind of thing. Expand the family, expand, his character where he is at this point, find more about his backstory and all that type of stuff. And we find out a lot of really cool stuff about those characters. And luckily, later on with the Die Hard franchise, because we've got Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard 4.0, or Live Free Die Hard in the US, and A Good Day to Die Hard is the next sequel coming up very soon. And luckily, the franchise and the series and the sequels really have evolved since then, and they've gone with some more the buddy cops, and they've done something a bit more different in each movie. So let's hope the new movie also does something a little different with the father and son relationship. I'd love to see what they're going to do with that. So I'm going to give Die Hard 2 Die Harder a hit or a miss. So let's remember my review on Die Hard 2 Die Harder. What do you think of the sequel? Do you think it was a pretty decent sequel? Do you think it was better than the first one? Somehow. What do you think of the current sequels after, Die Hard with Vengeance, Die Hard 4.0, and the new current sequel that's coming out in the next couple of weeks? I'd love to know your opinions on the Die Hard franchise, I'd love to know your opinions on this movie. Comment down below, I'd love to know your opinions. Anytime, Andrew TV, signing out.